Okay, let's just jump right into it. I think what we're all witnessing right now, and I mean right now, is probably the single biggest infrastructure takeover in history. And the wild part, almost everyone is missing it. This isn't some crazy theory, it's just about connecting the dots with the cold, hard numbers.
And that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? Is it actually possible that while we've all been obsessing over electric cars and rockets, a totally new kind of empire, one worth trillions, has been quietly assembled right under our noses? Well, let's take a look at the evidence.
First, let's talk about this number, $10.1 billion. That's what Tesla's energy division is on track to make in 2024 alone. And get this, it's growing at a whopping 67% a year. This is not a side project. It's becoming the main event.
Now, let's look up, way up, 65%. That's how many of all the active satellites orbiting our planet right now are controlled by one company, Starlink. I mean, that's a level of control over global communication that's, well, it's totally unprecedented.
And how about speed? 19 days. That's all it took xAI to stand up a massive 100,000 GPU supercomputer. And just for some context, a project like that, it usually takes years. This kind of speed is a strategic advantage that it's almost impossible to compete with.
So, when you put these pieces together, you start to see the real picture. This was never just about cars. It's about building and controlling the three absolute pillars of the new economy: energy, connectivity, and compute. And they're all designed to flow through one single, vertically integrated system.
To really get how this all works, we've got to start at the foundation of this empire, the surprisingly, and I mean really surprisingly, profitable energy machine that is Tesla Energy.
Okay, here's the number that I think Wall Street has totally missed. In 2024, Tesla's energy business hit a profit margin of 26.2%. That's way higher than the car business. The side hustle is now officially making more money than the main gig.
And we're not talking about a couple batteries in a lab somewhere. The physical scale of this is just staggering. We're talking about deployments big enough to power entire cities, and new factories that are pumping out nearly 100 gigawatt hours of capacity every single year. The ambition here is global.
But the real secret weapon, the thing that makes this so hard to compete with, it isn't just the batteries themselves, it's the software that runs them. It's a platform called AutoBidder, and it's an AI that trades energy on global markets 24/7. When prices are high, it sells power. When they're low, it charges up. It's making thousands of these super profitable decisions every single day, completely on its own. So when you put it all together, you see what the real play is. Tesla isn't just selling batteries. It is systematically turning itself into a global power utility that just so happens to build all of its own hardware. They're playing a completely different game than everybody else in the energy space.
Right, but having a massive spread-out utility is kind of useless if you can't connect all the pieces. And that brings us to pillar number 2, connecting the empire with Starlink.
Think about it. All these distributed energy systems, solar farms out in the desert, wind turbines in the middle of the ocean, they need a constant, rock-solid connection to the grid. But you can't run fiber optic cables everywhere. I mean, just look at SaskPower in Canada. They said it themselves. For their remote grids, Starlink was literally the only option.
And this is where it gets so powerful, because it creates this self-reinforcing loop, this flywheel. Cheaper launches from SpaceX means they can deploy more Starlink satellites. More satellites create a truly global, everywhere, all-the-time internet. That connection enables Tesla's energy grids anywhere on Earth, which then creates more demand for batteries and more launches. Each piece makes the other pieces stronger and more valuable.
And where does all this lead? Well, with launch costs dropping by over 99%, things that used to be pure science fiction are suddenly on the table. We're talking about the very real ambition to build orbital data centers, floating in space, powered by 24/7 solar, literally putting the clouds in the clouds.
Which brings us to the final piece of this whole puzzle, the ultimate goal that all this infrastructure is being built to serve: the self-powering brain of the AI compute empire.
Look, if you need that one single piece of evidence that proves this is all one big, integrated system, this is it. xAI's massive supercomputer, called Colossus, is sitting in Memphis, Tennessee right now, and it's being powered by 168 Tesla Megapacks. The part of the ecosystem that needs the power is the part of the ecosystem that makes the power. It's vertical integration on a scale we've just never seen before. And this creates a strategic advantage that is just immense. I mean, think about it.
While competitors like Google and Microsoft are stuck signing 20-year contracts for electricity and then waiting in line for years just to get connected to the grid, this ecosystem just builds its own power plant, connects it with its own satellite network, and is up and running in a matter of days.
The synergies just keep stacking up, creating this unbreakable chain. The AI needs a ridiculous amount of power. Boom, Tesla Energy provides it. The new energy grid needs to be connected. Boom, Starlink provides it. The satellites need a ride to orbit. Boom, SpaceX provides the launches. Every single component feeds directly into the next.
So, what does this all add up to? A totally vertically integrated system for energy, for connectivity, and for compute. To really wrap our heads around the scale of this ambition, we kind of need to look back in history. You have to ask, is this Standard Oil 2.0?
I mean, think about it. John D. Rockefeller controlled the oil industry because he owned the wells, the refineries, and the pipelines. This ecosystem is aiming for the exact same thing, but for the fundamental layers of the entire modern economy. And the combined value of these companies? It already rivals and probably even beats what Standard Oil was worth at its peak, adjusted for today's money.
And here's the real nightmare for anyone trying to compete with this. The logistical moat they've built is just huge. Right now, if you're a company and you want to build a big new power project and connect it to the US grid, the average wait time is more than 7 years. This ecosystem doesn't wait. It just builds. And just look at the timeline here. This isn't some 2050 dream. These are the key milestones they're aiming for in the next 5 or 6 years. By 2030, the demand for energy just to power AI is projected to explode by 80 times, and this whole integrated system is scaling up to be ready for it. So you can really see the strategy laid out. This empire is targeting the largest, the fastest growing, and frankly, the most essential infrastructure markets of our time. It's not just about winning in one market, it's about owning the foundational layer that everything else is going to be built on top of.
So we end right back where we started. The pieces are moving, the factories are already built, the satellites are already in orbit. The infrastructure of the future isn't coming, it's already here, being snapped together piece by piece in plain sight. The only question left is whether you can see the pattern before it becomes the system you rely on for, well, everything.